participants don't mind keeping their microphones off just for the minute because I have a good bit to get through and I want to kind of keep it prompt so that there may be time for questions at the end. But I would imagine lots of people will have lots of questions. So I was going to suggest that you either email your questions into us tomorrow, because I don't imagine I'll get to everyone or we'll be here all night, unfortunately. So we would then do a frequently asked questions document for everyone then to have a look at. So that's probably the easiest if you wouldn't mind. So if you're not if that's all right, that probably is just the handiest because I know there'll be lots of different questions from different art forms that won't be relevant to lots of people. There's one or two people just with I'm just going to be muting people if you don't mind, just to keep noise down and things like that, if that's okay. So I hope everyone's well this evening. And my name is Karina. Charles, for anyone. Oh yes, it's being recorded. Yeah, so it's being recorded. So if you don't want to be on the video, you can turn your camera off. If you don't mind, then you can, keep your camera on. If that feels okay. So I was considering putting it up online and it'll go up on our website, all going well tomorrow. But like that, sometimes with Zoom, you think it's recording and then it hasn't or something. But look, we can chat to people individually as well over the coming days. So I'm going to start. Just make sure I've admitted everyone at this point. And also just to say that we still have a good few people joining, admit all, yeah. Just to say that thanks a million everyone who has joined. And it would be great to do some more sort of networking events in Cavan, both in person and online over the coming months, and I know that there's huge benefit as well because people get to know each other and also collaborations can happen and there's lots of benefits. I know the arts can be a lonely road as well. A lot of us are, well, I'm talking about myself. I was an artist, and you're either a creative producer, project manager, an artist, and it can be yeah, it can be lonely, and it's nice to connect in with people. I had hoped to do something pre-Christmas, but just with these new structures and being new to the job, it didn't happen. But I would hope in 2026 that we would do some networking events, both online and in person. So nearly there. Let's see. So nearly there. Just give us another minute. Um, so it's great to see such interest as well. There's about 66 people on the Zoom. So it just shows, I suppose, as well the number of artists we have in the county, and further afield. So let's see, where are we now? All right. So again, just to say for any of the new people, I'm going to start this has been recorded. If you'd rather just turn your camera off, that's perfect. We've everyone muted for the moment. I'm going to fly through some of these awards. Anyone who's familiar with the Arts Council of Ireland funding streams, basically I have tried to align to those so that well, I'm thinking it's clearer. It may not be, and I'm sure there'll be hiccups as well this year, but we'll try and smooth them out. And just to reiterate once again, if you have questions, I would put them in an email to us tomorrow, and we'll do a frequently asked questions document. Because with 66 people, we just wouldn't get around everyone, and I know people will have questions. So, with that said, I'm going to share screen now. And I might have to scooch over and back just to make sure that everybody is admitted, but looks like we are for the minute. So we'll start off with this is share screen. Okay, we're going to start off with the bursary award. One second, Cavan Arts. That's the project award and that's the bursary award. Hope everyone can see this? I did test it with our assistant arts officer Marina just before we came online. So just admit all, go again. So this is our Cavan Arts Bursary Award. So anyone, yeah, that's familiar with the Cavan or with the Arts Council of Ireland, this is for so basically guidelines and application form for artists. Sorry, that should say for bursaries taking place up to December 2026. So before we used to run it until from February to February, but we're shortening that time. It's just in terms of our funding, it just makes it cleaner. So that's one thing to note, that you have just till the end of next year. Now we would maybe then look at putting out some of the awards a little bit earlier, so that they might go out in November next year, and we'd have an earlier, so that you'd have your word about your project potentially before Christmas, so you would know you'd be starting your project, in January, early January, February. And I think it might just keep it cleaner for all of us, especially here in from a funding perspective and year ends and all that kind of stuff. So it's open from Thursday coming up until the 21st of January. That's Wednesday. So hopefully that gives everyone a reasonable amount of lead in time. Artists from all disciplines are invited to apply. You applicants we have here, it's this one of this thing, like you reside in Cavan or you're a Cavan artist living elsewhere, but your proposed work will significantly benefit the county. So you might come back to Cavan to put on your exhibition. You might be part of, I don't know, the Venice Biennale, though, when you're representing Cavan on an international stage, but that perhaps you try and come home and still do a little bit of something here in Cavan just for benefit of, Cavan audiences and reaching people here in the county. The term artist refers to emerging artists in the early stages of developing their practice within the arts and a small body of work. Mid-stage artist, an individual who has been on their artistic journey for a while and has developed an independent body of work. With some recognition. So, you might have got another grant, or you've had an exhibition or a show, or anything like that. Professional artist, an individual who is recognized by their peers as a practicing professional artist and who identifies as such with a body of work created. So the bursary provides financial support to emerging mid-career and professional artists based in County Cavan, or those other variations of it that I said, to develop their artistic practice. And the award is designed to give artists time and resources to think. I'm just going to two more people are wanting to come in. I'll just admit all, and I can close that now. Hopefully that'll make that happen. The bursary is to, yes, support you, to give you time to think, research, train, upskill, experiment. One second there. Experiment, without the requirement to produce or present a finished body of work during the award period. So somebody might want to go to, I don't know, Scotland or America or somewhere to train, to upskill, to collaborate with an artist that they think will further their career. There might be change in direction within their career. Something that did come up, I think, in previous years is you might be a professional visual artist, but now you're going into music or you're going into film. What I would suggest to you is then reevaluate where you sit within the criteria, simply because if you are a professional artist, visual artist, but you're really only an emerging or mid-stage career film artist with, a certain amount of work, you may just want to look at where you position yourself, even though I know that might feel, a little bit, what's the word? Yeah, just like a step back, but it's just to make sure that you're not your application isn't thrown out. If you're really upskilling, it's something completely different. But if you're a professional artist upskilling in the visual arts and it's something in visual arts, again, I would keep with the professional or whatever. The funding bands for this year are emerging artists up to 2,000, mid-stage artists up to 2,500, and professional artists up to 3,000. Residency opportunities. We would have had the Tyrone Guttery as a separate residency, but we're going to try and include it in this. So, you could put in for part of your residency to go to Tyrone Guttery. They do full board. Then we also have the Mott residency space in Milltown, County Cavan, mostly suitable for visual artists, writers, poets, that kind of thing. So they have self-catering options there. You can contact the Tyrone Guttery Centre for their fees, similarly to the Moth residency space. And then there are other national or international residency programs that you might like to be a part of. Also, Cavan Arts are reserving the right to maybe move your application to another category if we believe it's a better fit and maybe that there's funding available still within another area. But, it would be in your benefit rather than not in your benefit to do that. So other details, activities, as I said, research and development of new ideas, time to reflect and plan future work, skills development and training, workshops, courses, mentorship, all of that is very is kind of what this is for the bursary. Residencies or time in studios, that's again in Cavan, nationwide or international, collaboration and networking for artistic growth, and studio rental is something we've put in here as well. But we will be hopefully announcing a studio rental a separate scheme in February or March, subject to funding, because spaces, according to our consultation process that is ongoing for the new Cavan Art strategy, is saying that studio spaces for art forms, be it music, be it visual arts, or whatever, are one of the most important and necessary, I suppose, things that people really need at the moment. And I suppose they know that, but unfortunately, we probably can't find all those spaces, and it probably isn't our role. But the Cavan Artist Workplace Scheme would support single artists with some fees towards their studio space, or collaborations, or groupings of artists or arts organizations. So, that could be music, it could be visual art. If you can identify a space, we may be able to, work with you to give you something towards your rent of that space. That's probably the best that we can offer. Eligibility. Applicants must be emerging, mid-stage or professional. Proposed activity must be completed by the 31st of December. Applicants may work in any art form: visual art, theatre, literature, dance, film, traditional arts, street arts, multidisciplinary practice, and on and on and on. So you need a short CV, a clear description of your proposed activities, how this bursary would benefit your artistic development, a simple budget outlining how funds will be used, confirmation of any other funding if applicable, and 2 samples of work, be that photographs, videos, links, whatever, a catalogue. So before, I know on the Cavan Arts, they used to be, what are you given to the fund? That's, I suppose, like that, have been somebody that used to apply as well. I always felt like I should be putting something in, but really a big part of what we would like to say this year as well is, feel free to put in artist time. You don't have to put in that the community hall costs 800 quid to try and justify where your wages are coming from. Like, paying the artist is important. These aren't, huge awards, but project awards are somewhat bigger this year than they were before, hopefully subject to funding. So look at, as well, a change in structure to all the awards this year, hopefully, is that we will pay them in 2 or 3 installments throughout the year. So you can just send us in like a progress report and say, look, I've done this bit of it. Can I get this amount of money? And again, so it just might help, with the burden of costs. So like that, if you are doing a residency and it costs, I don't know, like €1,000 off your bursary to go, but you don't have €1,000 in the bank to go, or a training course, you can send us in the quote from the provider. We can transfer that amount of money, and then we just ask that you send us in the receipt of the payment of it. So it means that you're not, that it's something that we pay out over the year. So it's actually, usable income throughout the year. And look, at hopefully next year bursaries might be a little bit larger, but that's what they are for this year. Funding will be paid in 2 or more installments to allow people to access funding throughout. If you're availing of a training course, that's what I've just said, we can we can work with you to get that paid. All payments to be drawn down by the end of December. And if you could acknowledge Cavan Arts and Cavan County Council in related communications on social media or on posters by means of our logos, and we'll send them out with the successful application letter, in February. So look, that's kind of all similar to other years. I'm going to scooch on now to the Cavan Arts Projects Award 2026. And again, that's the closing date is the 21st of January. We have emerging artists here, mid-stage artists, professional artists, again with the same criteria, but we've arts organizations. This is teams of 3 or more practicing artists, creative producers, who, maybe do projects in, I don't know, a community space. You might be somebody who would love to run some arts projects throughout the year in your, it could be, I don't know, a council-owned building, or it could be, a community building. You might be a cooperative who want to form to run a couple of projects throughout the year, but also you might be a community group, and you're doing community arts projects, or community arts providers within the county. You know, you could also be a drama. I suppose a drama association is probably more in our festival and events or other festivals like that. And we have that separate one as well. So the Cavan Project Award supports artists, emerging mid-career professional arts organisations, creative producers and community arts based in Cavan to develop their artistic practice through projects that have strong artistic ambitions and culminate in meaningful public engagement. So public engagement or reaching more people may include events, exhibitions, workshops, concerts, presentations. We have festivals in this because there is that kind of overlapping where you might be an artist and you want to present at a festival that's in Cavan. So it could be a music festival or an arts-based festival or, the Christmas markets or some of those, different festivals. And you as an artist could apply to this and have your work shown at events around the county. So it's just to kind of strengthen programming around the county as well. And again, it reflects the Arts Council of Ireland's project award prioritising artistic excellence, public access, and development of art forms. So, it can be the creation and presentation of new work or the reimagining of work already in existence, artist-led projects or collaborations, community-focused arts initiatives with clear artistic quality, and partnerships with existing festivals or events in County Cavan, as I said, to strengthen programming and audience reach. Individual applicants can apply for projects happening in County Cavan, or with the Cavan-based focus or some benefit to the county, and you can make justification, I suppose, in your applications for up to €4,000. This can be for one single project or a number of smaller projects throughout the year. So it might be like 4 €1,000 projects. Assessment process applications will be assessed by an independent panel using the following criteria: artistic ambition and proposed project, overall quality and track record of the artist or potential of the artist if you're emerging, feasibility based on your resources and planning, benefits for County Cavan, and like that, if there was 3 artists who wanted to apply to do a big project together, the 3 artists could potentially apply for this. Now, it depends on what we would be able to give to the projects, but, there's that opportunity to collaborate and say, look at, there's 3 artists applying, for this award, or, we'd look at it sort of from a more strategic point of view, if that makes sense. Now, this is all kind of, we're trying to see, what works best for artists. Not all artists want to collaborate. Not all artists should collaborate. Some have a solo practice, and that is their practice, but there are other artists who are looking to collaborate, and we've been told that. So this is kind of maybe to encourage that, if that's something that grabs you in 2026 for 2026. um Again, look, we have based in County Cavan. I suppose these projects are to benefit the local people, audience, and all that kind of thing as best we can. But we understand that sometimes there is grey areas as well, and we can look at those on a sort of an application by application basis. And again, all art forms are accepted and activities be completed by the 31st of December. And short CV, again, 2 pieces of work is all we're really asking for anyone. It's just if there's 100 people applying, it becomes a lot of administration just to get through and turn around in a kind of a quick in a quick time frame. So links, you can put a link in just to make sure. Oh, that's our my time call there. So that's those 2. Then where are we next? I just want to say about the Moth residency studio space. I think that's there. No, it's the bursary award. That's another one. That's the Mott Studios here. They might have space for a couple of artists to come on board. We have a €1,200 fee to those people, and basically it's a space in Cavan, but it's communal. So just to be aware of that. Also to say that the Town Hall Artist Residency will be opening again, probably February or March. So if you keep an eye on our socials and our website, you'll find out more about that. That's under review as well, just to see about art forms and things like that. We haven't made any definite decisions, but we are looking at it at the moment. And that is I suppose it's a great support for artists around around and a great space as well, the town hall, and there are also individual pods or rooms, so that's amazing. Cavan Arts Festival and Event Support Scheme again. We have three funding bands you'll see here, up to €1,000 for small events, workshops or arts programs, up to 2,500 for medium events or specialised arts funding, and up to 4,500 for established festivals with a strong track record or festivals that kind of, for one reason or another, need that kind of support. So that is would be your, I suppose, your drama festivals, but also your kind of your music specialized festivals, or all of those kind of different things. There's sort of existing festivals we have in Cavan, and there's probably new festivals that might pop up as well. So that's just the difference. They would have all gone under community development back in the day, and we've kind of just broken them up into that. So basically, that's what you'll see. I want to talk about a few other awards that we have coming up though as well. We have Arts and Health Awards. That's through Alicia and Kim in Arts and Health, and that's coming up in. It's opening on the 15th of January. And that's a national call out for arts and health projects. And there are three awards there. So it opens on the 15th of January, as you can see. So you can keep an eye on our website as well. And then you have until the 12th of December for that project. And then we'll know by the February 20th. So that's completely separate. And you can apply to that and apply to us as well. And but it is a national call out as well, just to say that. But I believe there will be at least one of the awards in Cavan. Three artists will receive €8,000 each. So that's to work in collaboration between the arts, health, social care, or education sectors. And it is for emerging artists. So you might be a professional artist, but you are an emerging artist in the arts and health arena, that you haven't, you've never really, or maybe you have worked in a care home or in educational settings with, or social care or any of those kind of settings, and you would like to do some more of it. And it's a really great opportunity. And again, next year, there'll be three more awards of €8,000. So then just to mention the Artist Workplace Scheme in any art form, that's potentially going to come out in late February, early March, to support artists and groups to kind of maybe find spaces around the county and be able to lease somewhere for 6 months or a year and to subsidise some of that rent. Town Hall Residency Awards scheduled for late February or March. Then we potentially are looking at a New Theatre Award as well in February or March, and that's going to be a mentorship style award. So that will have a small stipend attached to it, and then also mentorship online in person. That's for theatre, new theatre, we're calling it. Gulliver's Travels is 300-year celebration is next year, and I feel there's a potential for a project for November 26th. So that's on the cards. If anyone's interested in that, we have sort of Tom Meskel, who is a maker, and he might come or he will come hopefully and facilitate some makers kind of a talk, in February, hopefully in Town Hall. And again, if you keep an eye on our socials and our website, you'll find out more about that. But also there's the literary option, Gulliver's Travels is a huge, yeah. Oh, is the screen still being shared? It should be, yes. Does it say stop? Can people see it? Oh, okay. I'll stop share quickly. Okay, and I'll start again. 1 second. Maybe it's just for some reason that hasn't come up. Okay. Oh, the culture and health one didn't come up. Oh, that's all right. Okay, okay. Let's see. Do. 1 second. Screen share. Try it again. So culture and health. Is that coming up now? Can anyone give me a thumbs up, or Marina, can you see that? Yeah, so Gulliver's is up. Look at the culture and health. If you keep an eye on our socials, you'll get all the info over the coming probably week or two on that. Okay. And then just Gulliver's Travels, it might be an opportunity for some sort of like public engagement. So if there's anyone interested in making illuminated lanterns or in being involved in something like this, potentially for next November, we'd invite you to come, and email myself here. And then in February we might have either an online or an in-person in town hall. So we'll see what we think is the best option for that. Then the other final one, just to tell you about, we have a mentorship this year. Is that coming up? Irish Writers Centre. That's not coming up. Okay, I'll stop sharing and I'll go again. 1 second. Sorry. So where is that? This is this one and share. So is that coming up there? Irish Irish Writers Centre National Mentoring Programme. So again, this is for there's the Irish Writers Centre are offering a mentor to one Cavan artist. Again, you can apply to our Arts Awards and apply to this one if you would like. There is no financial, there's no money, but you get a year. I think it's almost a year's mentorship, and you get to, there's different sharings. I suppose it's to help people to access a national writer and get feedback and all those kind of things on their work. So that's out now actually, and it is closes on the 31st of December. So that's also there, and the genres anyone can really apply: fiction, creative non-fiction, children and young adults fiction, as well as poetry. So a lot there. We'll have that up on our website again over the next couple of days. So that's it. We actually don't have very long left. So I would say there's another thing that I was considering having this year, which is exhibition costs. It's something that people often come back in. So they got their project award, but the money is spent, and now they have costs associated with putting on their or exhibiting their work in a sort of professional way. So I am trying to leave a small like that. That doesn't just have to be visual art. It could be music. It could be whatever form. Um, so just I'm trying to leave a small little pot as well for that, so people can come, and if you've done it, if you have your project and you may have budgeted it into your budget, your overall budget, but find you're a little bit short or whatever, I would encourage people to reach out, and I might just have that as an open kind of case by case basis if it's needed. But it is something that comes up kind of repeatedly as well. So the Culture and Health Awards, just to say, they're opening in January. The mentorship through the Irish Writers Centre is open now, and we'll put details of that up on our socials and our website tomorrow. And if anyone's interested in that, it's obviously a niche area. Just going to look down through my yeah, no, that's nearly it, I think, folks. So yeah, I hope that kind of gives you sort of an overview of what's going on this year and the potential for the Gulliver's Travel project for November next year, which again I'd be trying to leave aside a pot just to be able to pay some artists. Also, just very finally, Longford Lights is a festival that Cavan contributed work to in 2022, I think, in the first year of it. They have an internship program out now. You can apply through Longford Arts if you go on to that, and that's very specialised for, I suppose, makers or maybe movers and shakers, people who wanted to perform as part of it. And they have an internship for the makers side of it with a stipend that I suppose I was considering that we would potentially add a little bit in for a couple of selected Cavan artists. So it's a competitive process. You'd apply